No. Oh, we got sound! Yay! We got sound. Oh, turn your phone down, Sharon. All right. We got sound. Let me turn the rest of this on. Windows, chat. Let me get the chat window on. We just had a major catastrophe going on. Where's my chat window? Oh, there it is. Okay, guys. Sorry about the no sound. And Mr. Wilson, you can't come out here. Oh. Okay. So, there was no sound. So, it is back, I'm assuming. And I got to tell you, I am so sorry I'm late. Just as I went to go live, my mom called me from the rehab, and I do not know what's happening with her. Wait, let me make sure you can hear. Can you guys hear now? Oh, you got sound now. Okay. So 3 weeks in the hospital, 14, 15 days in ICU. Got her out to rehab. And she called me just a minute ago freaking out. She's calling my brother-in-law in North Carolina, who when she lived in North Carolina did everything for her. I need you to come get me. I can't get up. I can't get up. And so I had to call the rehab really quick, get a nurse down there, call my daughter, get my daughter to call and get on the phone with her and talk her down. So, whew, crisis averted. We are here. And I will run down there as soon as we get off our lives. But for tonight, we are back. Wow, it's been a month from you know where. Was that her calling again? Okay. Okay. So, Mr. Wilson and Kristen, my daughter, are handling this. They're giving her some kind of medication that now she's like doesn't even know where she is, what she's doing. Okay, so let's talk about tonight's live. Yes, I don't know who's saying just breathe, but man, I need to breathe. Let me put on here. So let's start over. Hi, welcome to our live. Sorry for the catastrophe. So we have a lot of you already on. I'm trying to scroll back and see who's here to say hello personally to you, but there's so many people. So what I'm going to do is start with what we're going to do tonight. So as you know, Easter's on its way and the bunnies are hopping. Our bunny pins came out and we had a this or that contest. Oops. Can you tell I was doing clay today? A this or that contest, and we gave away 4 rolling pins. Those have all shipped out. I'm hoping they have made it to their winners. If not, they have shipped. They should be there shortly. And so with that theme, tonight I'm going to be doing some Easter eggs. We've had the Easter egg forms. There's a template for the Easter eggs for a wavy or curvy or whatever what would you call it? It just scalloped. That's the word, scalloped. For a scalloped edge. Those have been out there. And, oh, Sharon Oberlin. Yay, you got your bunny pin today. Whew, I gotta calm down. Calm down. So anyway, in sticking with the theme, I decided to do some Easter eggs today. Again, those forms, those templates have been out there. A lot of you already have them. So I just wanted to add, we've added a couple stencils. Now, there are stencils for the Easter eggs. You can use rolling pins for the Easter egg forms, or we call them Eggtastic. You can do rolling pins. You can do stamps. You can do nothing at all. And just do some awesome glazing. So I'm going to smack Mr. Wilson. He's over in the corner and he's going like I am. He's like telling me to calm down. So, okay, stop and take a deep breath. I'm going to smack you, boy. So let me do this. Because we've already been on 10 minutes and I've done nothing, I am going to show you the first video. And again, these are shapes that have been out there that a lot of you have. We have sold a lot of these, and I just want to give you other ways of using them. And these came out pretty cool. So let's go to the first video. Okay, let's do this. So what I have here today is my, whoa, come back here. My egg form, which is a nice, pretty, beautiful egg shape. I do have ovals, but you know, they just don't look like an egg. And then I have an egg-shaped rim template that what I'm gonna do is use my banding wheel system, which is my Superbat banding wheel system. I will put my template down. I will put my form down. I will put my stencil down. I will run my clay across the top of it and flip it over and see what we have. So let's get ready. Let me set this all right here. First thing I'm going to do is clean off my rib. I do have a piece of B-mix here. It's about 1/4 of an inch because this isn't a very big dish and I'm not putting texture on it. Otherwise, I would have made it a little thicker. Now I'm going to compress this. Always, always compress your clay. I do compress it really well in my slab roller. I do not use canvas. I use printer's mats. So I do not get a texture on my clay, but I compress it anyway. Want this super compressed. I rarely get cracks because I super compress. I'm going to flip this over very gently and I'm going to compress the back side. Now, one of the things I always like to do is keep like a little cookie cutter, little circle cutter, something close by. I've got fun little hearts, little whimsical hearts. I have cookie cutters laying by because when I have excess clay, I like to use it up instead of stick it in my reclaim. Who loves reclaim, right? So let me move this clay aside and get my banding wheel system set up for you. Okay, we're going to start out with one of these. I'm going to put my template. Now, you can use either side. There, you know, it's not really a right or wrong. However, the clay will stick to the black side longer before it comes loose. So I really like to put it on the brown side up, but you can make these reversible. So there's that. What I'm going to do is I have 4 different stencils that happen to fit this. This plate, it's going to have a fun rim, and it's going to have 4 different stencils. I have this one with the rabbit. Actually, that belongs on the other egg. I have unhook these. I have a honeycomb. And if you had a little bee stamp, oh, how cute. I have, everybody is loving the spring sunflowers. I also have the sunflowers, which matches a lot of the sunflowers that I already have. So you can get you a farmhouse whole scene. I have roses. These roses are gorgeous roses. And then I just have a fun swirly floral. So I'm going to make a couple of these, and then I'll show you what the other ones look like. Okay, I think I'm going to start with the sunflowers. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to whoops, let me spin this back. I'm going to very lightly wet this just because I want my sunflowers to stay down on here. I don't want them to move around. I don't know if that will hold it down or not, but I'm hoping it will. Where's my, here. We're going to see if this, whoops, just onto the wood with a little dampness will hold that down. Or I'm just going to have to be very careful when I put this over, which is probably going to be the case. Just have to be very careful, and that's okay. So, my clay. I have my clay here, and I'm going to take this and drape this right over the top and not slide it, not move it. Just push this down real easily. I'm really using my hands. There we go. And I just put this down. What I'm going to do is take my little U-bolt with little nuts and a wire. And what I'm going to do is just bring this in and come around the wheel, a piece of wood, my banding, super bad banding system. And I'm going to move this out of my way just because I wanted to get the excess off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my yellow rib and come around on the top. Now I don't have texture, so I'm not real concerned. I also, let me grab you another. Our forms, see how well rounded these are? So we can come around here with this red rib bent and lay this corner in, because it's not gonna, it doesn't have a sharp edge, so it's not gonna put a crease, it's not gonna crack and bend that clay where it cracks on you, because it's nice and rounded. Therefore, in the bottom of your piece, it's gonna be nice and rounded. So that's that. Now I'm gonna take this and I'm just very lightly coming around this so that I can see the edge of where my template is. Now, this one is a dual drape, which means it's a flat side, as opposed to, let me grab a form real quick. Okay, here are 2 eggs. This one is a dual drape. See how it's nice and rounded and comes flat? That's what I'm actually using today. And here's one. See these sharp edges? They have sharp edges. They have the drop. But we also go a step further and put a little drop edge here, so that if you were going to use this one and use to push, it's not going to poke that line in your clay. But these do not stack for that reason. So that's the difference. So now, again, I'm just going to lightly, very lightly, I'm using hardly any pressure at all, bringing my rib around here. Oh, the reason I brought these out was this. If you're using the form with the angle, if I had this pressed down, well, actually it would have to be up. Then this clay, this edge to the template would come out at that exact 45 degrees. Using this, which is what I'm using, I can, depending upon how much I push this in, I can determine what kind of angle I want. So that is pretty much why I use those. Sometimes I like to go all the way in and accent this shape. And sometimes I just like to let it come out to the rim template. You do not have to use a rim template. You can just cut around the shape and push in or lay over with that. But in this case, I want kind of an extra fancy Easter egg plate. So, or spring plate, whatever you want to call it. So I am using a template. Now, with my, I'll take that one, with my needle tool, I'm going to just kind of come around and get rid of a bunch of this to start with, just to get it out of my way. I can see, and I'll feel that template if I hit it. That's just to get some of that out of my way, make it easier to work. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in till I hit that template and stop. I'm going to keep my needle tool straight up and down, and I'm just going to right around, spinning my Super Bat banding wheel system, and I'm just going to keep going around until I get to the end. If you keep this straight up and down, it'll come out really nice. If you, whoops, slip a petal, just go back in, not in one of the indents, and pick up where you left off. It's not a big deal. So we'll just humping it around the little humps, and just keep going around. Keep your needle tool riding on the wood down here so you don't slip up and cut across your clay. I've done that before, so I'm just going to keep coming around. And that one, I think I kind of came out too far, but I'm not going to worry about that until I get all the way around. And then I can go back and look, and because these templates are a full 1/4 inch thick, I can go back and fix it without any worries whatsoever. Now, where did I think it was? Well, actually, I don't think I did. So I can look and I can see the side here and see if I left any clay on there. And in this case, I did not. So what I'm going to do, this one came out perfect. Look at that. Look at that cute egg. Okay, I'm just going to come around, and I want to make sure I hit these little indents, because you know that's a nice easy place where clay might want to crack. Just keep coming around till I get to the end. Rinse out my sponge. I need new ones. And there we have it. Now, you can even look at this when you get to this point and say, that side's pressed in a little more than this side. Let me go press in just a hair. Make that lip even. And I can look at that and say, oh yeah, that's better. That's where I want it. So a lot of versatility with these. It's also the highest grade Medix Word product you can get. So this product does not tend to warp. It does not tend to come apart, peel apart, or anything like that. And it's even pretty darn sturdy when you drop it on the floor. They tend not to chip out. It is the highest quality you can buy. I used the less quality stuff for a while, and man, it just didn't hold up. So we just wanted to go the extra mile and give you a product that's really going to hold up through the test of time. Very mold resistant also. Okay, there's that one. Now, we could put a foot on this, any kind of foot we want to. For the sake of time tonight, I am not going to put a foot on any of these because I'm making this nice and flat because I want to spend some time glazing some of these. If you're concerned, it's not. Okay, so there was just making. Now I made another one off camera because you've seen it and you want to see it made again. You can rewind. So I made a second one with a different stencil in it. And I'm going to show you that one flipped out first. And then I'll come back if we have time and show you as I was glazing this sunflower, because I don't remember how long that was. So let's first go to the rose egg and see it flipped out, or see it, yeah, flipped out and then glazed it. I did some fun things to it. So we're going to go there first. Actually, do I have any questions? Sharon got her bunny pin. Holly got her bunny pin. Cindy made it. Deb Gardner. Ooh, will that flower egg stencil be offered in a no egg shape? Actually, we do have it in several shapes already. So let's go to the rose egg, then we'll come back to the glazing of the sunflower, the one you just saw. Ooh, let's flip this bad boy. Bad boys, let's flip this bad boys. Let's see what we have here. Whoa. Give it a little wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Let's get this. There we go. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Oh, oh, oh. So, if you kind of go into that curve, it's going to really make it nice and rounded. Oh, look at how gorgeous. Nice and rounded. Oh, that's so beautiful. So beautiful. Makes my heart happy. Oh, that almost made me want to sing If You're Happy and You Know It. I think it's getting late in the day. I'm thinking I should put this away and go take a rest. Whew. Can you imagine if I start singing and You're Happy and You Know It? Oh, oh, oh. Okay, let's get this out of here. And look inside there at our stencil. Look at that stencil. Look how gorgeous that is. So we are going to just go ahead and I think because we have Tuscan red right here and it's a beautiful red, I'm just going to stick it with the rest of this I've used today. Wait a second. I have an idea. Ding, ding. I have an idea. I'm going to try something here real quick. I'm going to stick this right back in here. I'm going to stick that right back in there. And I'm going to put my lid back on my Tuscan red. Yes, I am. And I'm going to do my rim. I might jack this all up, but you know, let's think out of this box. Let's dare to be different and let's see what we come up with. So here I go. I'm going to start here and go around. There we go. Now, woo. So now I got to figure out how to get this out without dropping it and making a mess. Ah! Woo! I barely made it. I did have one little spot that I almost lost touch with, which is right here. So I'm going to pull that out with a brush. And pull that out. See how I'm skinnying up that line? There we go. Look at that. How about that? All right. Now, with that, now I have to be extremely cautious. But I'm going to take this same Tuscan Red. How is that? That's fun. You know, if you can't enjoy it and have fun and play and experiment, what's the point? But here's part of the point. I experiment for you because that way you can see what works if you don't want to experiment and see where you can make your money. I'm going to press that down a little bit. Now, I'm going to have to be extremely cautious on this. This came up just a little. So I want that back down without running into my rim. Okay, I got it. Now, I'm going to, let me wipe this a little bit because otherwise I'm going to have it all over me. I start off my piece because otherwise I'm afraid I just squirt out a big old blob. All right. Oh, I like that. All right. Get those sleeves up. Now, I'm going to take that Tuscan Red and I'm going to go in here and do the roses. Now that I've accented my rims, brush, and I can fix just like that. There, fixed. It would be easier if I just kept my arms out of it and not have to keep going back and fixing. All right. There's that. Okay. There's that. Come around here and get. And now, just because I'm in a big hurry, whew, I love that. Okay, where's my, there it is. I want to take my dryer and I want to just hit that glaze. Just kind of sharpen these little guys. You know, you can do this with any of the shapes you have, but I do got to say, when you have a shape that actually matches the theme, you stand out. It sets you apart. It sets you apart, and that's what I like to do, is help you set yourself apart. Now I'm gonna maybe mess this up because it's too early, but I'm gonna try to grab this out of here. Now, tell me that won't set you apart at a craft show. I think it will. I see, you guys probably won't see on camera. I see a tiny little bunk right there. And I see where I kind of messed it up right here, but I'm going to go in and grab that out with this brush for the most part. And if a little bit of it stays a little bit messed up, nobody's going to really notice but you. But let me get this piece. There we go. Now I might have made it worse by trying to fix it while it was all wet. And I'll come back in and work on this. Look at that. You won't even hardly see that when all is said and done. I need to stop, leave it alone, and then come back when it dries with a smaller brush. But look at, I fixed the smudge. I so fixed the smudge. Now I'm going to take this damp brush and go in here and press down where the stencil hit the side, so nobody will see that. Perfectly smooth now. There. Now, because I'm that way, I absolutely love this. What I may do when this completely dries, I may take my form, which I need to wipe off. And again, our forms are the highest grade, exterior grade material you can get. So wiping this off and getting it a little bit wet is not going to hurt it whatsoever. It's not going to mold. It's not going to swell. It's not going to crack. It's not going to hurt it in the least little bit. I'm just going to get that off of there. It's easier while it's wet. All right, then what I'll do when this completely dries, whoops, that's too heavy. I will put this form back in here, and then I think I will either take a big brush or something and flick some little dots around besides just the stripes. Maybe, maybe not. I may leave it, but I absolutely love that. And I think without the stripes or the drizzle style, if I hadn't put that around there, I think it would have been a bit boring. And I think that just totally dressed it up. Absolutely in love. So the experiment actually worked. So what I'm going to do is when Mr. Wilson, I'm going to spank Mr. Wilson. Mr. Wilson, stop making me laugh over here. He's in the corner cracking up. Yes, Mr. Wilson's in the corner. So what I'm going to do when that is completely dry is I am going to put that egg back in, and I'm probably going to take black or white, because that is red, bright red when it fires. And I will do some little drizzle in probably maybe one or maybe two, but a contrasting color to that red. Just because the red, I think it needs just a little dressing on the outside. But oh, did that frame that? Yes, he is an honorary boy, let me tell you. Okay, so what I want to do, we're close to running out of time. So what I want to do is get back over to that sunflower, and I'm going to just kind of push through that video and show you when I flipped it out and kind of where it's at with the, because I was really doing a bunch of different colors on glazing, and it's actually still has the stencil on it at home, and I will be putting a second and a third coat before I even pull the stencil. But what I'll do is put a picture up of what it actually looks like when I'm finished getting it all colored and glazed. And you want to talk a spring dish, a spring bowl. Oh man, it's really cute. So let me kind of power through this one because we're about out of time. Alrighty. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to flip this over. Let me find something to flip it. what types of things y'all really, really enjoy the most, what you would like to see. That helps me help you. All right. Oh, almost to the other side. Almost there. Yeah, I was concentrating. Look at this. I was concentrating instead of talking. So what I'm going to do, because we're about out of time, you get an idea of what this is going to look like. I am going to uh, finish this offline. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to do a few more coats, in here so that it fires good. But I don't need to keep doing that on here since we're out of time. But you get the idea of how quick, how easy, how gorgeous. What would this look like on a spring table? Look at this. Look at how gorgeous. Oh, look at how gorgeous that's going to be when it's finished. So I don't want to pull the stencil yet because I need to do second coats. But this is what this looks like. Whoa. And then, of course, there's other stencils that match. And there's also rolling pins, textures, no textures. Beautiful glazing would be awesome in these. No rim, just the egg. There's just an unlimited number of ways you can do this. Okay, so that gives you an idea of what that looks like. I see. Let's see, Rhonda, what colors are you using? That is Stroke and Coat. I kind of fast forwarded through that video, but if you watch the replay, I hold up each one and tell you what they are. It is Orange Appeal, Cantaloupe, and Green Thumb. And because those fire so brilliantly, even from the bisque fire. And then I'll clear, glaze it, and then fire it. Because I like the gloss even where the Stroke and Coats are not. So those are my newest stencils for the eggs. And again, use a rolling pin, use stamps, use nothing at all. So let's see, where are we? Oh, 6:17. We are 2 minutes over. Any other questions that I may have missed? Let's see. Let's see, Leslie, that could be a plate, a serving dish, a candy bowl. It can be anything you would like it to be. And of course, the eggs and the templates and the stencils come in all different sizes, so you could even do it as a nested set. You could get the set of 4 stencils in the 4 different sizes and stack those eggs. Let's see, I think I saw it was Melissa talking about doing the little eggs into a large egg tray. Oh, Melissa, that would be absolutely amazing. be sure and post that for everybody to see. And let's see, I answered that one. Okay, I believe I've hit. Isn't Cantaloupe and Orange Appeal both orange? That is, Diane, the Orange Appeal is a real brilliant orange, and Cantaloupe is more of a yellow orange. Well, I have a Cheeto bag here that shows the two different colors, but that's probably not cool. We'll pull my Cheeto bag on here. But it is two different colors of orange. Orange Appeal is really bright, bright orange, and Cantaloupe is more of a yellow orange. So thank you guys for joining us. We're in March. February was a bit of a rocky month. We had 2 ice days. We had my mom in ICU, but we are back and we are going strong, and we have so many amazing projects coming your way. We will see you next week.